Today we're going to talk about parliamentary law or parliamentary procedure or Parley Pro, whatever you want to call it. All of you should have had some experience with parliamentary law, whether it be in agri-science, horticulture, or I know you should have had it during Ag Mechanics 1 when you had me, the wonderful parliamentary procedure teacher. But as we go into parliamentary law, keep in mind that we're going to practice this in class. This is really all the information in this video is just a refresher to make sure that you remember what we talked about in previous classes. All right, so the objectives of parliamentary law, there's four main objectives. One is that one item is handled at a time. So that keeps it from being super confusing. So if we have one main motion on the floor, then we shouldn't be able to be confused, all right? We handle that one motion, and once it's finished, then we can move on to something else. We're courteous to everyone. One of the big things within parliamentary procedure is courtesy. So never in parliamentary procedure will you hear someone say, Justin is stupid, okay? You may hear them say, I disagree with the previous speaker, or I think that the previous speaker is unfounded in what they said, but never are we going to be disrespectful. All right, majority rules. So majority is 50% plus 1, and so the majority rules on any decision that is made. So this means that unpopular ideas will not be adopted. Minority rights are protected. This, however, does not mean that we don't get to have a say if our opinion's in the minority. So let's say that I think that we really should never go in the shop in Ag Mechanics 2, that it's a waste of time and I don't like doing it. Probably it's going to be a minority thought. But through parliamentary procedure, I will at least get to voice my opinion. As far as voting, we already talked about the fact that majority is 50% plus 1. Two-thirds majority means that you have to have 2/3 of the people present voting to adopt the motion. A lot of times it takes a 2/3 vote if it's taking away the rights of one of the members, such as limiting debate and things such as that. Now, when we do talk about voting, you have to have what's called a quorum present before any official business can take place. So each group will have a number set in their constitution and bylaws that is their quorum that has to be present in order for official business to take place. Voting methods, there's four main ways to vote. The most frequently used is voice, so that would be aye if you're in favor, or nay or no if you're against. Roll call. Roll call is used a lot in legislative bodies like Congress, so that there is a recording that you can go back to see what an individual person voted for. Rising, you're either standing or raising your hand. And ballot is your traditional way of voting, a secret ballot so that no one knows how you voted. All right, and the gavel is a symbol of authority. Just in having the gavel, it comes with some authority because you can, to some extent, control how the meeting flows. The number of taps of the gavel do mean something. So one tap can mean a lot of different things. One, it can be to be seated. Two, it can be if the meeting is adjourned. Or three, if a vote is going to be announced. For example, motion passes or motion fails. Two taps is to call the meeting to order, so to get everything started. Three taps is to stand up. And the key on that is even if it's a place in the meeting where you know you're going to stand up, like the Pledge of Allegiance, you wait until the end of the third tap because technically it could just stop at one or be two taps. And a series of taps means to be quiet or orderly. If you think about watching courtroom dramas where the people start screaming in the courtroom gallery, the judge uses a series of taps to get the meeting back in order. Rarely are we ever going to need to use that in an FFA meeting, but it is nice to know. So in class, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the parliamentary motions that you'll be responsible for knowing, and we're going to get some practice with using our parliamentary procedure.